Seems like it's working. Okay. Okay. Let me share this with a couple of friends. All right. So I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time. Uh, Start a conversation about this issue, which for more than a year I wanted. I don't know if this is the right forum because usually I just post videos either of me or other guitarists that I find online and I find interesting, or venues that I've been. But this year has been kind of slow for venues. I haven't been to to that many. Um, like last year I did. Now, um, I've been this something's been minding bothering me for a long time. I had this conversation with a couple of friends, uh, especially Eddie, one of my friends back in my neck of the woods. Uh, so we're talking about like the brands, the American brands, made in America, like the good brands versus the cheap ones. He's not too fond of the other. Well, not I shouldn't say cheap, especially now because they're not they're not cheap at all. They're pretty expensive. Um, I mean the oversea brands, right? Like Epiphone or Squire and all of those, all of those. And I always tell them like, hey, listen, when talking about prices and stuff, I always say, hey, um, what these companies want, what they will love is for you to pay them the American price. You know what they're charging for the made in America guitar for the ones they're making overseas, because that's how those are the guitars that they sell the most, and it's kind of becoming the normal approach. Like they're getting you little by little to accept that those are the prices that these products should have. Um, and I've been kind of trying to come up with like the right words, the right wording or whatever. And I was yesterday. I was watching. I watch a lot of YouTube. I was watching Philli Mcknight, and I think he's the best one that has put like the right wording for what I wanted to say. So first of all, like should we be okay with paying made in USA prices for like the way they were like 5 years ago, 7 years ago, or even recently for products that are overseas, products that are not made in the same quality, in the same. They do not go through like the U.S. taxes, and so there's a reason why made in USA products are more expensive, and yes, it has to do with wages, like the cost of paying your employees and all of that, and having business here. But also there's like taxes, there's other regulations that businesses in the U.S. have to go to. That of course they're gonna pass that expense to you, the consumer, right? Because they have to. It's the way you do business. Um, Now, companies overseas do not have those regulations. Yes, yeah, they have to pay a lot of price in shipping, right? A lot of cost in shipping to deliver the products here, but they're saving a lot of money with the money they don't have to pay for like regulations and the wages that they have to pay in the U.S. Um, and it's kind of like a phenomenon for guitarists because usually products that are made overseas, they're mass produced, and they cost a lot. Like I said already, a lot less than the American made. Like when you take products like they were made in the U.S. and now they're made overseas, it's like they're making kind of like the cheaper version of it, and they're gonna pass those savings to you, the consumer. You're gonna have to pay way less for a toaster or an oven or a radio or whatever that they used to make in the US. Now they're making them overseas for pennies on the dollar, and you don't have to pay that much money. Now, when it comes to guitars, Yeah, they kind of do that, but they mislead you a little bit. If I should say that, I'm probably not using the term correctly, but they have the expensive brand, like let's say Gibson, right? And which great guitars, by the way. I'm not trying to bash on them, but they have Epiphone, so it's kind of like, oh, it's different. But at the end of the day, they start going up in prices little by little until they get you paying for what you should be paying for a made in USA for a guitar overseas. And those companies that are doing that, they have the made in US and the overseas ones, of course, because they have to raise the price on the overseas because you're paying for it, they're going to raise the price on the ones made in America. Because, I mean, it has to go, they have to charge you more to justify that it's made in the USA. And they're not going to charge you $1,500 for a made in USA if they're charging you $1,500 for a made in Mexico or China or whatever, right? They're going to have to charge you way more money in order to sustain this ecosystem that's going on. There are some exceptions though to like products made overseas. Just because it's made overseas, it doesn't mean it's less quality. The way these guitars are made are mass products. So they make a lot of them. They don't make them with the same care or the same time, with some exceptions. There's this company called Eastman, which is a company the guitars are made in Beijing, China. And they are made in the kind of like in the same way that the made in Americas are made. It's just by people in China. But I mean, it doesn't mean that they are less skilled or the materials are less of quality. In fact, I have a website around here. Okay, that's not it. So right here. This is their website, Eastman Guitars, dedicated to excellence with a commitment to craft, right? So they have their little story right there. You can see their guitars. As you see, it's not your run-of-the-mill, inexpensive guitars. I mean, they're made in China, but they are well made by, luthiers and people who know what they're doing, and they're not paying. You can get one of these guitars. I never tried one of them. I wish I did, because I'm very curious about how these guitars perform. It's like back in the day, maybe the 80s, you will get made in Japan guitars. Back then, I guess Japan was kind of like what China is now, in a matter of earnings. They weren't making that much, or I don't know what was going on, but guitars were being made in Japan and other electronics and stuff, other products. And it got to a point that the made in Japan guitars were amazing. And I have a Yamaha from the 80s. It's like a Gibson 335 pretty much. I'm not saying it's identical, but it's pretty good. So Philli Mcknight did that video because there's a particular guitar that it's been in the media and people are talking about it. It's this little number right here, the Kirk Hammett Greeny 1959 Les Paul Standard. So people are going bananas because now they're seeing an Epiphone guitar for $1,500, which they used to be. You wouldn't pay more than $800 for an Epiphone guitar back in the day, and not way back in the day, not so long ago. I saw this guitar at a local guitar center, and I didn't pay too much attention to it, but there it is. You can see, I was looking at it, and I know it has the little Gibson shape over there and whatnot. Let me see if I can make it bigger so you guys can see. It has a little Gibson shape over there. $1,500 at Guitar Center. And some special sort of mojo that goes up with the original one, with the 1959 one that Kirk Hammett has, which this guitar won't have because this is not it. I mean, it's not an exact copy of the Kirk Hammett guitar, but it's not Kirk Hammett's guitar. It's aren't all Epiphones kind of like a copy of the Les Paul, Gibson Les Paul? I'm just saying. I mean, what type of game are we playing here? I'm just saying. But here's the problem. Once you start accepting this little thing right here, it opens the door. Like these two on the side, they're not Epiphone, they're Gibson. Once you start accepting that, it opens the door to this. Let me see if I can make it bigger. These two guitars right here. These two guitars right here, $1,300. They're Epiphones. I remember when you could get a Gibson for that price. The Flying B, Gibson Flying B, that's a Flying B. Gibson Flying B for that price. And right now, we're paying, I mean, I'm not, but somebody's going to pay $1,300 for those guitars. And by no means I'm trying to tell people what to do with their money. Spend your hard-earned money in whatever you want. If you have the urge to buy any of these guitars and you just really want them, really want them, go ahead. Be my guest. You do you. Now I don't see any difference from this guitar. I mean, I didn't test it. I didn't grab the guitar. I was in a hurry. I just got off a plane that day. I just happened to see a Guitar Center. I have to go in. So I just see the inverted humbucker over there, like the neck humbucker. And I know there's some wiring differences. Nothing that your local luthier can do to your regular Epiphone, and can't do to your local to your Epiphone, because I mean you can mod your Epiphone to your heart's delight. In fact, that's what a lot of people do. They buy an Epiphone, they buy a Mexican Strat, a good Squire, also, and they mod them and just make them their own. But I mean, I just don't see the justification for paying $1,500 for this guitar. So back to this. I mean, how do they justify these prices? It says the story of Greeny, which is what they're calling this guitar, is shrouded in mystery, but few guitars are as illustrious. Greeny is one of the most iconic original Les Paul standards ever made, with a unique sound as recognizable as the guitar itself. Previously owned by Peter Green, it was used throughout his time with Fleetwood Mac, and later sold to Gary Moore, who used it for the 3 decades with Thin Lizzy, and as a solo artist, now owned by Kirk Hammett. Greeny has passed through the hands of 3 legendary guitarists. Its distinctive sound is partly from the out-of-phase middle switch position due to the neck pickup's reverse magnetic polarity. So there you see those the differences, and you can get to your local guitar tech, and they can just do that to your Epiphone. And I guess the pickups are maybe made in USA. You can also buy some pickups to your guitar. The Epiphone Kirk Hammett Greeny Les Paul Standard is a collaboration between Epiphone and the Gibson Custom Shop. This exceptional guitar was inspired by Kirk's. And read more, and I'm gonna read more. So that's it. Just a couple of tweaks here and there. I didn't see, like, the hardware it's Gibson. You see it right here. It says maple with AAA flame maple veneers. Is that veneer like all other Epiphones are? And not all others, but the ones that are flame. It's not a real flame. It's a veneer, and they look good. I have guitars like this with veneer tops, but they're just not the real thing. They don't look like the real thing. They look good enough though. I don't know if I will pay $1,500 for it though. Now, to me, who started this trend, like the main culprit of this, if I should say so, like a big company, was PRS, because PRS started, they had like their main guitars, like the main in Maryland. They're pretty nice. They're like works of art. I've tried them. They're amazing guitars. But then, because of his friendship with Santana was like one of his best customers at the beginning when he was starting. Santana told Paul Reed-Smith to make a guitar for students. His guitars were expensive, and he made what it was Santana SE, which was like the shape of a PRS standard or custom with just it was flat and just a couple of options of colors. I believe it was $400. But to be fair, that was some time ago. So now it will be like what, like 600 or something. So, but I mean more like at this time when you see here, like let me see if I can, like this guitar's right here. Back then PRS was a great value. Like this guitars, I have this one. I have one just like this, and I think I paid $400. It was like back in 2012 or 13. Great value, great guitar, great sounding guitar, great guitar if you want to like mud it or if you want to like do your own tweaks to it. I made Matt the neck, and it sounded great. I changed the pickups. I did a bunch of stuff to this guitar. It's a great guitar, and I love it. I don't think I'll ever sell it. It was on sale too, so it was like I think it was $500 or $450. I think I paid $380 or $400. I don't remember, but it was something like that. So before that, you could see these ones, they have like the moon. So little by little, PRS has started like doing like little changes to them, so they become more attractive. Before, like I said, they didn't have the veneer top, and then they didn't have the moons, and now they have the moons. But they said SE really big over here. Now they say PRS as big as the ones from the main line. So little by little, they have been added like value, which of course they could have done like at the beginning when they were like 400, 500, just to make it more enticing and feeding it to you a little bit at a time. They still have like a $500 guitar, which I think is a matte color. It ain't bad. I mean, I haven't seen it in person, but they have a lot of them that are like 800, 900, and it's been like that for like a while, like 700 on top. Like you could get an Epiphone with like a veneer top, the inlays, nice inlays and everything for like $500, and the equivalent of a PRS was like 700 already. Now the ones from now, like PRS now, the SEs, these are SEs, and they look amazing. Like there's some of them that I really wanted. The Sackmeyers, I just acquired one of those. I love that guitar. I traded it in an Epiphone by the way. This one is an artist. Let's see if I can find it here. Look at this. It looks amazing. And I think that's the standards. That's like the cheap one, than the expensive one. They have added a lot of different options. This is the one, the Mark Holcomb. That guitar looks so awesome that even I'm like thinking about trying it out. But I think that guitar is over $1,000 now, if I'm not mistaken. Now, if you look here, overseas manufacturing has created cheap products for Americans. For if we're talking about other products, like like we talked before, like radios or some other products that are not guitars. Cheaper overseas manufacturing costs in countries like China have driven down prices for goods like smartphones, TVs, and computers. Well, back in the day, TV was really, I mean, small TV will be like $500, $300. Now you can buy like a 55-inch for $300. University of Michigan economist Mark Perry previously told Insider. As of July, prices for clothing, toys, and TVs had fallen 2%, 72%, and 98% respectively since 2000, per Perry's analyst of Bureau of Labor Statistics data. Now, we know guitars do not fall into that. And I know there's also inflation that you got to consider. Um, there's this other article in the Business Insider. Uh, Although there's a broad support for increasing U.S. manufacturing power, overall, goods made in the U.S. are inevitably more expensive than those created in countries where labor is cheaper, such as China, Vietnam, and Mexico. If the production of popular items like iPhones and sneakers were done domestically rather than abroad, their prices will increase considerably. So that's to support what I was saying before. Now I'm gonna play for you the exact part where Philli Mcknight it's talking about this issue or this situation. It's not really an issue.
I don't know what we're talking about.
And I want you to listen because I want you. I think he just hit the nail in the coffin for what I was trying to like explain. Like he does it way better than what I'm coming up with right now, of course. So just listen to Philip, and I'm sorry, give me just a moment. Just listen to Philip, and I might chime in a little bit because there's fair use for this.
We're talking about the Epiphone Geddon. That's my effect I just made. Okay, so what is that? It's the, holy crap, look what they're asking for Epiphones now. $16.99. Yeah, $12.99 for the Dave Grohl made in China. What?
Like that one, the Dave Grohl one.
It's $12.99 for this Epiphone Firebird. This is crazy. $1,000, $12.99 for a Kirk Hammett Purple V. This is insane. It's not insane for me. Here's why. Because I talked about this years ago. I said this was exactly what I saw the industry focusing on from the interviews of the industry itself. It's sometimes I can't even say if you watched all my interview videos, you would come to the same conclusions as me, because one thing that sucks about doing interviews, and I don't care what anybody says, because this is absolutely accurate to everybody I've ever met and talked to, is there is a before and after conversations on those interviews that are never in the interviews, that are always a little bit, well, let's just say that's the part you probably wanted to hear. And that's just the downfall. If you want to interview people, they're going to tell you, they're going to say things off the record, and you can't say anything, but you happen to be aware of these things.
Okay, let me drag it like to where I think he's putting his point.
Prices for these import guitars. The whole mission of the industry is to get us to pay what you're paying now, whatever you think premium priced guitars are. Here's why I say this, and I know
You heard that? The whole mission of the business right now is to come up with the prices. Like, okay, this is a premium guitar, and a premium guitar should be like, I don't know, $2,000 or something like that. Let's just throw a number right there. And to make you pay $2,000 for made in China, made in Korea, made in Indonesia, whatever, and not even like an Eastman, which is like similar to what we get here with like the made in the US, just like by those mass produced guitars. Of course, I mean, that's his opinion, but I'm just saying that's also my opinion, what I always thought. I just couldn't put it into the right words. And I think Philip is doing a great job by putting in the right wording. So that way, you understand what I was trying to say. So right now, Philip is trying to explain how they come up with these strategies, right? And also, I mean, Philip is I watch his channel a lot, and I'm gonna put it on the description and the link so you can watch the video by yourself. He knows a lot about guitars. He's visited these establishments, most of these, the ones that are in the US. He's visited like the factories. He talks to them, so he has great insight in the industry.
I'm kind of getting sidetracked, but I need you to focus on what I'm about to tell you. Every company when I say every, 9 out of 10, okay, every major company cannot help but tell me or somebody in the background about Apple. How much Apple gets to charge for a phone and a computer, and how people will pay $2,000 for a China-made Epiphone or a Apple. Sorry, Freudian slip.
You hear that? So that's who they're trying to like copy or mimic is the Apple model, right? The Apple model. So and what's up with Apple? Like what Apple they used to sell the iPhone for like $400, and everybody wanted an iPhone because it was like the good stuff, you know, like the expensive phone, the one everybody has, the like the ones that the artists have, and you can have it too. And they've been like going up in price for that. Of course, the technology gets better. They add features. They add all this stuff. I understand that. So with guitars, not so much. But yeah, they add some features here there to the guitars to make it a little bit better than what we had 10 years ago. But Apple, the phones are made in China. They're mass produced, but they are the flagship phone. So are Samsungs. I'm not saying they're not. Don't get hung up with me if you don't like Apple and you like Android. That's not what we're talking about here. But they're a flagship phone, and they want you to pay flagship money for the guitars like Apple customers pay for their phones.
The video, he says, I don't want to film that because I don't want the recipes
again
on the wall to be, photoed. This goes, and every movement goes towards that. The only difference is they have a weapon that no one's really ever had before, which is what I say all the time, which is Gibson. And I'm picking on Gibson Epiphone just because Epiphone brought this up. I don't want to isolate them. Don't go on a whole Gibson Epiphone tirade in the comments. This is every company I've said, and the only exceptions to these companies are the ones I've told you before. The ones that don't double dip, the ones that don't do both, okay? So if you want to leave some companies out of this, I'll say right now, it's going to be Sir, it's going to be Tom Anderson, it's going to be Kiesel, Rickenbacker. It's going to be companies that are USA built only, or more importantly, for those people who are like, don't want me to be pro USA all the time, even though I can't help it because I am. It is one factory controlled by them all the time, their factory. The point is.
So yeah, he's trying to say there, I think he explained it nice, but the companies that are not going through this motion, like trying to make the consumer pay for an overseas guitar about the price that you should pay for a guitar made in the U.S. are companies that do not have like overseas brands or like an inexpensive brand or a spin-off brand or whatever you want to call them. However, if Fender and Gibson are going up in prices for their U.S. made guitars, so will Kiesel, so will Sir. I mean, Sir are already way over there. So will Tom Anderson, and some will all the others. I mean, it even if they're not double dipping, and even if they're not trying to pull this on their customers, they will still be influenced by what the rest of the industry is doing. Because look at the names he said. It's Fender. Fender has Fender Mexico, and Fender has Squier as well. So Fender is kind of like triple dipping, if I must say. Even though at this point Fender Mexico is like their main. It's kind of like their main thing, I would say. It's like their main brand. I think that's where they have like the most of the resources and everything. And they make great products. I mean, I have a lot of Fender Mexican guitars, which I love. Don't know about the starter ones, like the like the Player series. I've tried some that I love, and I tried some that I'm like, meh. Like there was like a pink one at Guitar Center once, and I just wanted a pink guitar for some reason. Don't judge me. And it was like usually that guitar is like what, $700. It was like $550. One of those promotions they have going on, and I just something about it. It just felt way less quality than any other guitar. The weight was very off, so there was like no consistency there. I might say, even though it's all robotics and everything nowadays, I just didn't like that guitar for some reason. So yeah, even though they're not trying to, I mean, maybe they just have to. I mean, because how you can justify that you have the greatest quality in a guitar and whatever when like the big names are doing it. I don't know. I'm just thinking over here. Let's listen to Philip.
Is that Gibson can entice you to buy Epiphone. Fender can entice you to buy Squire. PRS can entice you to buy PRS SE because they control the thing you want, which is the unobtainium, the expensive guitar, and then they can flow you down into the guitar they really want you to buy. And this is one of those things where this comes up all the time, and I keep saying it, and then we keep coming back to here as a community on the show, like, hey, did you see what they're doing now? Squires are blah blah blah. Look at the prices, and I'm like, yes, and I appreciate the questions and the subjects because it's an interesting discussion. However, it's exactly back to the first discussions we had years ago, where I said, of course, right? Of course, they want you to pay $1,500, and you don't have to be educated in the industry. You don't have to be a guitar builder. You don't have to know anything to know that you.
That's one for you, Eddie. That's exactly what I was telling you a couple of years ago. They want you to pay for the one they mass produce, and they get, I mean, they get for the less effort. They want you to pay the high price because really the price is dictated by the market, by the consumer, by whoever's buying them. If people are buying them for those prices, they will sell them for those prices.
You can go on the internet right now, and as much as I look, I am a massive Foo Fighters is one of the best bands I've ever seen live. Dave Grohl is probably one of the coolest guys on the planet when it comes to, I mean, I watch almost every interview with him. I just like the guy. Okay. But it's not hard to figure out. Look, I understand he's Dave Grohl, and he's no different than Kirk Hammett and all these other guys. He gets obviously a commander price because of his name, and the guitar is amazing. Okay.
$1,300 for the Foo Fighters version, whatever. Jeez. I remember when you could get like let's say the Les Paul standard Epiphone. It was like $400, $350, something like that. And if you will get like an artist version, which was the, like, not your run of the mill, it will have like Gibson pickups or Zimmer Duncan pickups. Like, I remember trying ones like the Slash, Epiphone Slash, and it was pretty cool. It was a great guitar. And it was like $600, $700. And it was an amazing guitar, like really well built. You could tell that it was above the regular Epiphone standard. So yeah, but now it's $1,300, and I know again, some things go up in prices, inflation and all that, but I mean, double the money, really, for an artist.
I mean, I'm in love with this guitar, but $1,299. It's not that I don't think it's worth that. I never talk in that language, worth. What I will tell you as a value proposition, I can find you a guitar, this exact specification with this exact paint job, made in that same country, China, in a very like factory for half. And half is because I just want to be lazy and I just want to win the argument. I could probably do.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, it's not like if this is worth it. The thing is, if this is worth to you, if it's worth to you for $1,300, just by all means, just pay the $1,300. Maybe you're a Foo Fighters fan, like a big Foo Fighters fan, like you listen to Foo Fighters every day, all day, and I mean, owning this guitar means so much to you, and you have $1,300 and you want to pay for it, then yeah, I mean, it's worth it for you. That's why he doesn't use worth, because for everybody, worth is different, right? I just want to, I don't remember if he said anything else that I wanted to point out. let's just let it roll.
Do it for find that same guitar for $300. Okay, but realistically, I can find it for $650, no problem, not even trying. And I hate picking on that one, but it's not. I'm not saying it's not worth $12.99. Look, I'm a huge Dave Grohl fan. I'm an Epiphone fan. I'm a Gibson fan. I can be just as susceptible as you guys to buying a guitar. However, we know what they want. They want the import guitars to win because that's where the money is. I have heard so many manufacturers tell me, the owners of these companies, the CEOs tell me if they could, if they were smart, they would just do the imports. And I think I said this, and if I haven't, I maybe I should have said it. One of the things that happened the first time I ever met Jeff Kiesel, the first time I ever really met him. I met him for a brief second at the NAMM show, but believe it or not, the first time I ever met Jeff Kiesel was...
Try to hear something kind of like at the end of this segment.
Shouldn't do it, because I don't want you to do it. And I said, it's already filled. There's so many already great guitars out there. There are a plethora of guitars that are amazing that I could buy, and everybody else could buy. Let them buy those. But a unique custom guitar still made in the USA, it's a rarity now. And for those that want it, you want it. And so that's back to that Epiphone thing. That's why. So the fact that everybody's shocked that the Epiphone is now in the price point of USA Fenders almost, I'm not shocked about any of that stuff. I'm not shocked. In fact, the day they tell me a Squire is $1,500, I won't be shocked then. The day they tell me a Paul Reed Smith SE is $2,000, not even going to be remotely shocked, as I think that's been the agenda for a decade. And if anything, I bet you if you could honestly get a lot of those people that are in control of the marketing people, the salespeople, the ownership of a lot of companies, they tell you they're behind schedule.
This is where they want to. They're behind schedule. This is what they wanted from the beginning, or maybe not the beginning, but from a long time ago. So, yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it better, and I didn't. Kudos to Philli Mcknight. Listen to him very often. I like. Sometimes he has these long videos live, and I just let him go on while I do all this stuff and listen to him. But yeah, I mean that's been what they always wanted to do, like, and they're achieving that right now. I mean, this was recorded by me a couple of hours ago that I went to Guitar Center to get one cable that I needed for my microphone. And as you can see, these guitars, which are Epiphone, not Gibson, they're $1,000, $1,050, and they are on sale. They're usually like $1,300. There's some good deals. I think the ESG is like $500. It's like a Epiphone, like a Les Paul over there for $500. That's a good deal for that guitar. Pretty nice guitar for $500. Yeah, that's what it is. However, he mentioned that the Fenders are like Epiphones are almost like the price of the Fender American ones. Isn't a Fender made in Mexico like $1,400 now? Kind of like that same price, even before Epiphone did it. And I'm not defending them, but yeah. And he said the day an SG, PRSSC is $2,000, I won't be surprised. There are PRSSCs that are like $1,500. Isn't that hollow body, maybe with a piezo? And I know it has a piezo. Isn't that like $1,500 or something like that? I gotta double check my prices, but yeah, it's something like that. I mean, and there are others for like $1,100, $1,050. So it's been happening for a while. I don't even know how much a Fender American Professional is right now. I haven't looked into the market for a while. I did record some of the Fenders as well. Like, you don't see those outrageous prices that much, but you can see them like in the 700s and more, closer to $1,000. Those are made in Mexico. Those are not the American made ones. They don't put them with the same in the same side, Guitar Center. So you can see the prices right there. Again, I mean, that's the one that started it all, the conversation. for Philip and other people online. Uh, and that's where it is. I mean, the consumer controls the market. That's what we have to keep in mind. Again, you got the money, you wanted that guitar, you have been saving your hard-earned cash, and you want to buy something like this. Go ahead. I mean, no problem. In my case, I try to look at my options, look at the used market. You can still find good deals, even new, like that Epiphone over there, $500. It's a great guitar. Also, I don't know. I just don't like to. I just don't like to make me do stuff. But I know we're guitarists. We have a lot of gas, and sometimes you want a guitar, a specific color, and you always wanted it like that, and you're not gonna be waiting all your life for the guitar to be found on the used market and whatever, and in X condition. So you just go ahead and buy it. I did it once with a guitar. I wanted a Fender Telecaster in butterscotch and with a black pickguard, and I found it at a local guitar center. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I paid pretty much what the Fender Mexicans were costing right now, like $700, something like that. I pay $600. I don't remember. I just know that it was way more than I was willing to pay for other guitars in the same range of quality. But I did it because I wanted one in that color and that in the specifications, you know. So that's about it. That's all I got. Thanks for listening. I'm trying to work on some things so I can put more music on the channel. I've been kind of lazy with it. Sorry. I'm going to continue on putting on the shorts and whatever guitars I find. Just didn't want to put, at the beginning when I started this, I didn't want to use footage that wasn't mine. But it comes to a point like YouTube wants you to do that every day. So it comes to a point that you just, can't. And so I've been finding guitarists or solos that I think you might like and uploading them. Sometimes I do like the Van Halen's, the Ingwe Malmsteens that everybody knows, but sometimes I find obscure guitarists. Like the very first guitarist that I uploaded that wasn't my footage was Sister Rosetta Parks. And she's a great guitarist from her time, and I'm just like trying to share the knowledge and share the music with everybody, so you can go and get the music for yourself and listen to this great artist. Thanks for listening, and